Hello, hello, hello. Hola, chicos. Bienvenidos. So, today we're going to focus on the objective of using the reflexive in different ways. So, we've looked at our 4 key points. El me, ¿qué es un reflexivo? What is a reflexive? Y los otros 2 puntos que son usando el reflexivo de diferentes maneras y cuáles son los pronombres reflexivos. So let's keep going here. We should know by now and be able to identify what are the reflexive pronouns when we're talking, somebody doing an action onto themselves or for oneself. So, si estamos hablando de nosotros mismos, vamos a usar el me. Si estamos haciendo una pregunta, usualmente vamos a usar el te. Talking about somebody else doing something, él, ella, usted, se. If you are included in it, it's going to be nos, vosotros, which we usually don't use in our studies, but we know that it is there. And ellos, ellas, ustedes, se repeat. So at this point, we know that there are 5 different reflexive pronouns and that the most common ones are me, te, se, and nos. The infinitive reflexive. So these are our vocabulary words. We should know what they mean by now and be able to use them in a sentence. Ponerse, levantarse, lavarse, vestirse, peinarse, maquillarse, cepillarse, ducharse, acostarse, afeitarse, arreglarse, despertarse, dormirse, quitarse, secarse. Esto lo vamos a utilizar para un proyecto más adelante. So, the 2 different ways that we can use a reflexive in a sentence. We're going to start off with the same infinitive. We have lavarse, okay? And over here on the left side of your screen, you can see that we have lavarse the way that we've been seeing it all along. And that is using it in a present tense conjugation. So, yo me lavo la cara. And we have some steps to get to this point, right? We take lavarse, we put se away. I say put it in your pocket. We're left with lavar. Then we take lavar and we conjugate it based on the subject. The subject of this sentence right here is yo, right? So yo is going to conjugate lavo, and then that se is going to become me. Yo me lavo la cara. Okay? Then we have the next one. Ella se lava la cara. Again, we start off with the infinitive lavarse, right? We identify in this sentence that the subject is ella. So, third person singular, we conjugate our verb, lava, and then we use the appropriate pronoun. Ella se lava la cara. I apologize, I didn't put a period at the end. We move on to our next sentence, nosotros, right? Nosotros nos lavamos la cara. Again, the verb is always going to be conjugated based on the subject. So if we start off with lavarse, and the subject is nosotros, we're going to change lavar into lavamos and put the reflexive pronoun. Lastly, ellos se lavan la cara. Again, we have lavarse, drop the SE, put it in your pocket. And we have lavar, conjugated regular. Ellos lavan. Ellos se lavan la cara. We move on to the second way that we can use an infinitive in a sentence. Using the same verb, lavarse, okay? When we have another conjugated verb in the sentence, the reflexive pronoun will be attached to the reflexive verb. When we have another verb that is conjugated in the sentence, we're going to have the reflexive verb attached to the reflexive pronoun. So, first example, yo necesito lavarme la cara. Here, we take the infinitive lavarse, okay, and we are not putting se in our pocket because we already have the conjugated verb necesito. Yo necesito. Necesito is not an infinitive. Necesito is a regular verb. As such, okay, we're going to conjugate it and use it regular. But this verb is going to have the attached reflexive pronoun, okay? Yo necesito lavarme la cara. Same thing is going to happen no matter what the subject is. The subject and the verb are going to be conjugated according to the subject, right? So, ella necesita, nosotros necesitamos, ellos necesitan. Our verb is going to match our subject. But the infinitive, the reflexive is going to stay with the attached pronoun. The pronoun is going to match the subject. Ella necesita lavarse la cara. Nosotros necesitamos lavarnos la cara. You see that nos attached to lavar. Ellos necesitan lavarse la cara. You see the se attached to lavar. Okay? Same thing happens with these verbs, right? So we have these verbs that could be infinitive and these verbs that don't necessarily are infinitive. I'm sorry, reflexive. We have reflexive and non-reflexive verbs. But we can make a non-reflexive verb into a reflexive by adding a reflexive pronoun. Here's an example. The word pesa, to weigh. Here we have a scale and we have some fruit, right? I weigh the fruit. Yo peso la fruta. It's not reflexive. But if I was to weigh myself, then I would use the reflexive pronoun. Here we have se. Se pesa, to weigh oneself. If I was to weigh myself, me peso. If he or she was to weigh themselves, se pesa. If we were all to weigh ourselves, nos pesamos. Okay? So just by placing the reflexive pronoun in front of a non-reflexive verb, we can make it reflexive. All right. Last part of this presentation is presenting you with your project. So the project is going to consist of 3 different parts. So you can show your reflex, okay? You're going to create a slideshow that includes 10 vocabulary words that I showed you before. It's also in your Jamboard. Part 2, each slide is going to have a sentence using the vocabulary word. Part 3, you're going to record yourself presenting, kind of like what I'm doing right here, right now. And you can use Screencastify for that. You must include a picture in each slide, make it interesting and creative and nice and pretty. If you have my class today, your due date is the 18th. If you have my class on the 15th, April 15th, then your due date is going to be the 20th. You must include a complete conjugated sentence using the reflexive verb, that you're using in the picture. And that's going to be due the next class. You must speak clearly and enunciate your words in Spanish during the recording. And that's going to be your final due date, which is April 26th or April 27, depending when I have your class. If you have any questions, please let me know.